Welcome to the Love Lounge podcast. This is not a place to learn, it's a place to land. Nothing here has to be earned, and nothing needs to be fixed. Love Lounge is an atmosphere, not a lesson. Here's your host, Laura Doughty.
Welcome back to the Love Lounge podcast. We are here at episode 20, and I am your host, Laura Doughty. Today, I want to take a moment to settle in to this space together because Love Lounge has changed. Not abruptly, not dramatically, but quietly. And if you've been here for a while, you may have felt it before I ever even named it. This episode isn't an announcement. It's actually more like pulling up a chair, settling it down, and just saying, this is where we are now. For a long time, Love Lounge was about finding love, understanding love, navigating love, and especially romantic love. It held conversations about dating, identity, confidence, owning your vibe, and every one of those rooms mattered. I couldn't be here without them. But over time, something shifted in me. I noticed I wasn't teaching anymore. I wasn't guiding people out of the dark. I wasn't trying to move anyone toward a better version of themselves. And I have to say that again because that was my Achilles heel. I see potential in people, and going through all of these rooms that I've been through over the past many years has helped me to realize that I can just hold space. I don't have to persuade you. And that's what I was trying to do. I was keeping the light on. So when I say now the light is on, the door stays open in my episodes, I want you to feel what that actually means. It means nothing has to be earned here. You don't have to be ready. You definitely don't have to be healed. And you don't have to stay. The light being on says, you're not alone. The door staying open, that means you're not trapped. You don't have to stay here. And that combination, presence without pressure, is what this space has become. Love Lounge isn't a lesson anymore. It's a room. A place where love doesn't ask you to perform. Where stories can land without being tied up with a pretty bow. Where you can come closer or step back without consequence. If you followed this podcast over the years, you might feel a little disoriented. Totally understandable. We've moved through different seasons together, different titles, different focuses, and that can be confusing. But I want to say this clearly. Just because your story changes does not mean the earlier chapters were wrong. Sometimes we find ourselves living in an entirely new world, and we only got there because of all the places we lived before. That's not inconsistency. That is evolution. And this is where love comes back into the room. Because love isn't just something we practice with other people. Love is how we stay in relationship with ourselves as we change. Real love doesn't demand that we stay the same. It doesn't shame us for outgrowing a season. It doesn't erase where we've been in order to justify where we are. Love says, you belonged there then. Love says, that room mattered. It also says, nothing was wasted. Every room you've lived in, the ones that felt warm, the ones that felt confining, the ones you stayed in way too long, the ones that you left too quickly, they were all expressions of love at the level you knew how to give it at the time. Sometimes love looked like seeking connection. Sometimes it looked like safety. Sometimes it looked like going very quiet. And sometimes it looked like endurance. For me, now it looks like fire. The kind that clears space without burning the house down. This is what it means when love evolves. Not louder, not bigger, just more honest. And when you let yourself honor the room you've lived in without dragging them into the present, when you stop apologizing for the doors you've closed, when you allow yourself to settle somewhere new without explaining it to anyone, that is love in its most mature, unconditional form. Not attachment, no performance, presence. And that's what this space is devoted to. Not teaching you how to love better, but giving you a place where love doesn't ask you to stay where you were. And you'll still hear familiar voices here. Anila in particular, she's my soul sister, and when it feels right, she will sit down in this space with me, not out of obligation, not on a schedule, but through resonance. Because that's how this room works now. So if you're listening and wondering, am I in the right place? There's no test, no commitment required. Just notice how your body feels here. If it feels like a place you want to return to, the light will still be on. And if you need to step away for a season, the door stays open. This is Love Lounge, and we're settling in. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you when you're ready.
Thank you for allowing the Love Lounge podcast to be a part of your day. There's nothing you need to take from this. Just let it be with you. If you'd like to explore more, you can find more about Lara at laradoughty.com or raisedbyfire.com and follow Lara on Instagram at the Lara Doughty. The light is on. Our door stays open.